Hello, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Melissa Fuentes, you can call me Mel, and today I am finally facing my fear. No, I'm kidding. Today I'm finally repotting my massive Monstera Deliciosa. I have procrastinated for well over a year. Pretty sure she would have loved to be repotted last spring, but it's just, this is one of those repotting situations that I procrastinate so much. Every time I repot this plant, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And then months and months pass and I don't. I do have a few videos of me showing a lot of the repotting that I did for this plant just because it's one of my bigger plants, and it was one of my bigger plants even when I first started collecting plants. Anyways, so right now I'm just gonna have a cup of coffee and mentally prepare myself to repot this plant. We will put the potting mix together. I'm gonna try a few new products and then we will hopefully, you know, do a good job. The other thing I wanted to mention was that she is pushing out a new leaf. Now, I know I should have waited till after this leaf was good to go and unfurled and hardened, or I should have done it prior to the plant pushing out a new leaf. But honestly, it is what it is. I'm just going to do it because I have the time. We're actually leaving in a few hours, and I told my husband, I'm like, this is something I need to get done. So under pressure, I have time, I'm gonna do it. I know it's something that, you know, I wanna get done, and I do wanna put a video up for you guys for tomorrow. Today's Saturday afternoon. Hi, buddy. Today's Saturday afternoon, and I'm hoping to have it up for tomorrow. So I'm only recording this video the day before it goes up. So I'm excited, also nervous. So we'll see how it goes, and I hope you enjoy watching. And yeah, so give this video a thumbs up if you like it, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so here are the products that I'm gonna be using for the potting mix. So I usually use a mix of cacti succulent, and I mix it in with just regular potting soil or premium potting soil. I'm using Pro Mix today. So I'm gonna be doing probably like a quarter of this, a quarter of this, and then I have orchid mix as well. So I'll be adding that. This is the Golf Green version or company. I don't know. I get it at Canadian Tire here in Canada, Ontario. So, and then this is not earthworm castings. This is like a mix of orchid bark, charcoal, and other things. So I'm gonna see if I could just sprinkle some of that on. And then this is a new brand that I'll be using. It's a Lambert Orchid, chunkier orchid mix, because the orchid mix for this product here, or which one is it? For the Golf Green one, it tends to be a little bit longer. This one is just more chunkier, like pieces. And then I have a different type of perlite here. The Miracle Grow perlite I don't really like because it's very, very small and dusty. So I'm gonna finish it because obviously I don't wanna just have it sitting. So it's about maybe a quarter left. Hi, buddy. You're gonna be my assistant today. But I went to a garden center called 1010 Garden Center. It was my last video, and I picked up these bags that they had. So this is a pound of perlite, but the perlite's actually so thick. I'm gonna show you a piece, or chunky, I guess. So it looks like this, which I'm like, yes, let me try that and see how it goes, versus the other one that tends to be quite dusty. And then I also got coconut coir, which I think will help with drainage and aeration. Not so, it does hold moisture, but it's just another ingredient that you can add. This is not necessary, but I figured I'll add a little bit and see what happens. So anyways, that is all that I'm going to be using, and I'll show you the measurements that I'll be mixing into the soil. All right, so I just placed all the supplies on this table. I'm just going to basically do a little bit of a recipe. Again, this is not necessary to have all of these ingredients. I do want to emphasize that you can do great just with soil or cacti soil, and then do half perlite. You don't have to go all crazy for your first time. Obviously, orchid bark is great too. So even soil, perlite, and orchid bark is fine. By the way, I do have my assistant, so he may... No, don't touch the camera. Okay, so he may touch the camera because you're on a stool right now, but I think we're okay. He's over there. So I repurpose or reuse these ice cream containers because they're rectangle and they're clear, like you can see it at the bottom of them. So they're good for crawling philodendron. So anyways, this is what I'm using as my measuring cup, because if I use something smaller, it's going to take me forever. So first, I'm going to start off with soil. Now, I do want to transition to a soilless mix, but because I already have soil, I want to use it. I don't want to just have it sitting there, but once this is done, I probably will try a soilless mix. So this is full, so this is gonna be 1,
2, I'll do 3.
so that's of just soil, or the potting soil. And obviously I can use this potting soil for other stuff too, so it'll be helpful to have already soil mixed together. The only reason I'm also showing this part is because in my other videos, a few people were asking, you know, what are the measurements? Like, what do you use? So I figured now I can refer people to a video where it actually shows the measurements. So yeah, so now I can actually say some of the measurements today. So of the cacti soil or cactus succulent mix, I'm going to do 3 as well. So 1,
2, 3.
and then next I will do probably orchid mix. So this one here. They're not really friendly with the opening part. Okay. Then this one. I'm going to just see how it goes with this one. So you can tell that there's some stick versions of this. There's some little pieces of this. And it also has perlite in it. So I'm gonna do 1,
2.
I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna do just 2 of these for now. This perlite, it's so dusty. I'm just gonna do it gently into the container. I think it's going to be maybe 1 of these containers, yeah. So this one's full, so 1. And I don't want to do all of this because it's so dusty. The bottom part tends to just be dust. So I'm going to do 1 container of that perlite, and I'm going to try the thicker perlite for this one. For this cup, whatever you want to call it. Oh, I have an audience. Okay, so this one's basically full. Okay. And then I'm going to do, because I only did 2 cups of or 2 containers of the orchid bark the golf green one, I'm going to do 1 cup of the Lambert one. because like I said, it's a lot more chunky, this one. Ooh, I like it. It has charcoal in it too. I'm trying to show you against the container. And then like little pieces. So I really like this mix already. Like it looks super nice. Okay, so I'm going to start mixing this up and I'll show you what it looks like before I do that. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far. So we have the smaller perlite here. We have the Lambert mix here. You can see it has charcoal in it, which is awesome. And then this is from 1010 Garden Center, the thicker perlite. And then this is the perlite from the bag or brand Golf Green. So you can tell that it's a little different. Even the color is different. Like I love this color. But this, you can tell that there's like perlite around it. Not as much charcoal. And then underneath we have our soil. So I'm just taking you through my thought process. So after that last clip, you saw the soil and I feel like it wasn't chunky enough still. So I added one more container of the chunky perlite and another container of the Lambert orchid mix. So hopefully this should be good enough, but it's kind of trial and error with the mix. I don't want it too dense. I don't want it too airy because I know I underwater my plants. So I am going to see how this looks once I mix it and then we'll see. Okay, it is mixed again and I think I'm happy now with the consistency of it just because I added more of the chunkier mix. So I think I'm good with this. Now I'm concerned because I'm like, I hope this is enough. Because that's the pot right here, and then this is the new pot, so it is actually huge. So I'm anticipating I'm gonna have to make more soil mix, or I may just do that now. Yeah, I may add a little bit more just so that I don't have to worry about it later. Okay, so I'm going to take a break because my husband just went for a walk with Jameson and I need his help for the next step, so actually transferring the plant. I'm going to show you the trellis, I guess you can call it, that I will be using or repurposing because we had it in our garage and I'm like, I might as well use what we have. So I'm hoping it's going to look okay. It's a little much, it's pretty big, but I mean, my plant's just gonna continue to grow. My husband said, might as well leave it the size that it is and let the plant do its thing. And if not, I'm gonna have to repot it soon anyways, or add another trellis in 6 months or whatever. So I'm gonna show you that. Oh my gosh, it looks kind of weird on camera though. So this is a piece of wood that we randomly had in the garage. So I was thinking if I could support it at the bottom and then have the plant climb, and then at the top it will have a little bit more to grab onto. Now the only worry I have is that if it topples over left or right, so I'm gonna have to try to figure out what to do at the bottom there to kind of support it. I could also just put some rocks at the bottom just to keep it stable, because there's been a few times where I, you know, underwater the plant, or, you know, the plant just leans over, like there's a root, an aerial root that's actually reaching for the wall now. And I have some pieces of, I don't even know what it is, like metal that are heavy, and they are helping the plant stay put, because there's been a few times where the plant has toppled over when it needs water. Oh, by the way, there's a new leaf coming out. So yeah, right now I have these 2 bamboo sticks. So I'm thinking if I put these 2 bamboo sticks on either side and then I have the new trellis in the middle, that should be good enough. But yeah, I realize I haven't even showed you the plant yet, but she is just enormous and we'll see how this goes. It's gonna be tough, but I gotta do it. Okay, my husband came back and just helped me move stuff around. So I just cleared this area because I need to make sure that I can pot the plant up and I can fit the plant here. So I'm gonna backfill and stuff in this corner, but then I need to make sure that there's enough space for the plant to actually go in. I have a feeling I'm gonna have to bring this out a bit so that I can not worry about the leaves hitting the shelf or the couch or the wall. So anyway, so over here, I just moved the plants. The big Monstera is now on the table. Now the problem is that she's just being held by the 1 bamboo stick. You see it's coming out from the side. So I need the bamboo stick to put on the other side of this because I ended up adding the bamboo stick on one side of the pole. I don't even think I explained that part, but so I ended up wrapping the bamboo pole on one side. I'm gonna do the same with the other one on the other side just so there's a bit more stability. And inside the pot, I did like a ring of rocks because I don't want it to topple over. And then I put 2 pieces of half brick so that again, there's a bit more stability at the bottom. That pot's huge, so I don't think it will be a problem for the roots or the soil or anything like that. So yeah, so we're gonna try to do this without any casualties. And I'm still worried that I don't have enough soil, but at least for now, before we go out, because we have plans this evening, at least if I can get the plant in there and not have to worry about it, if needed tomorrow I can get more soil. But yeah, so you can see here that the plant's on an angle, so the pot's over here and then it kind of goes on an angle. I'm going to try to angle it up again so that it could be supported by the pole. Okay, this angle will have to do for now because you're kind of in the middle of the room. I just want you to be able to see what's going on. So I'm just going to put some soil into the pot so that there's some at the bottom so that the plant's a little bit more lifted. Okay, I need to grab the other pole because I'm starting to put the soil in there. Oh my God. I'm starting to put the soil in there, so I want to be able to have space to put the other bamboo post in there. All right, we have grabbed the other bamboo stick and that's gonna go on the other side of this stick. And I need to tie it up as well. So I'm using just twine. You can get it from the dollar store, craft shop, whatever. So I'm gonna use this. Are the scissors there? Can you pass me the scissors? And I'm just gonna wrap it around. All right, so next step is actually moving the Monstera. We'll see how this part goes. Okay, so I forgot that I needed another garbage bag, so I'm just gonna tilt you a bit. So there's another garbage bag in front of the pot because I need one to put the actual Monstera on first and then pot her up into the new pot. So anyways, I'm a little flustered, but hopefully we can do this without damage. All right, so we have to try to get her out of the pot. So I'm gonna get like a knife or something. That way I can kind of help her out. Okay, I found a spatula. Hopefully this works. Okay, I am out of breath, so I am gonna be huffing and puffing right now. So this is where we're at right now. The pole is right at the middle, but the thing with this Monstera is that she's been kind of going this way and then around like a snake. So I think that's as good as it's gonna get. The pot is right in the middle. These, like I said, were kind of stretching out to the side, but then she has slowly been able to find the pole again. So I think that's good there. And then I'm just gonna backfill. I'll try to give you another angle, but honestly it's so hard just because of this little space, but I'll see what I can do. So hopefully you can see a little bit of it. Like here's my hand here. I'm just going to be backfilling right now. And what I'm gonna try to do is make sure that all the roots are inside the the pot as well, because some of them are just crawling on the outside. So I'm just gonna let go of some of those aerial roots from the top, make sure they're trying to crawl downwards now. Hello. All right, I'm gonna have to top it up a little bit because there are roots at the top, so I'll definitely have to grab a little bit more potting mix, maybe just a bit more perlite than potting mix, just so that there's not just a layer of soil at the top. Or even, yeah, I'll probably do the coarse perlite at the top. One, it'll probably look better anyways, as opposed to like just the soil. But yeah, okay, so now I'm just gonna clean it up a bit. So I forgot that I needed to support the plant before we could let it go. So I ended up using the twine quite a few times, but I just tied it up in a bow because I need to make sure that she is supported in the right spots, and then I can kind of confirm that I want, you know, just one up here, one in the middle, one at the bottom, or wherever the support is needed the most. I want to be able to get rid of them and maybe put something else that's more thicker or, you know, more durable versus these pieces of twine. It kind of looks messy. But yeah, so I was able to straighten her out a little bit more, but we're gonna have to see what we can do to also support the post. My husband suggested a brick. So if I grab rope and I support the bottom of this, and then we put a brick on the floor, at least the plant won't topple over forward. Worst case scenario, if something were to happen, at least there is some support at the back of the pot. Now, the other thing I forgot to tell you is how big this pot actually is. So it says on this sticker, it is a 15-gallon pot, and it was $20, so it's quite big. I don't know what the measurements are. I'll put it on the screen, what the measurements are, height and width. All right, so here she is in all her glory. Now, it looks a little wonky because if you're facing the actual pole straight on, it looks like this because she's been, like I said, crawling to the side almost. So if I just turn her a little bit, then it should be okay. You'll be able to see all the leaves. But what I ended up doing over here is just strapping her, like I said. I'm just gonna leave it like that because I have to figure out what the best method of supporting her will be. A lot of people will say they cut the aerial roots. To be honest, I think it's just part of the beauty of this plant. I love, you know, like just the dried up parts. Like I did rip up some of the ones at the bottom. I do leave these on for quite a bit. I like the look of it. And then also the aerial roots, I do keep them on as well. I don't really worry about them too much. This one I'm gonna have to redirect downward into the soil. But yeah, I feel like it's just part of the beauty of the Monstera, so I just keep it on there, but obviously people can do whatever they want. So yeah, this is what she looks like now, and I'm quite happy. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm hot and sweating. I'm gonna have to change before we go. Probably wear just jeans and a t-shirt at this point. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I think it was a long one because I wanted it to be more so like a vlog-ish, planty video, just taking you with me throughout the day versus like just facts and just telling you some information and educational, I guess. So I hope you enjoyed. And the one thing I forgot to show you was the fertilizer that I'm recently using. So this is the fertilizer from Miracle Grow that I've decided to try. So you see there. So this is one that I bought at Kohl's Garden Center before they closed. And I figured I might as well start using this specifically because it's the summer, the plants are growing. And since I've been using this fertilizer, the Monstera has pushed out 2 leaves, and she can sometimes wait a while before pushing out a new leaf. So I think it does have to do with fertilizer, but obviously light and all that is obviously super important. But fertilization is obviously important too because you're providing the plant new and fresh nutrients. Like I said, I haven't repotted her in a very, very long time. So yeah, so try this out if you'd like. If not, let me know what other fertilizer you use. Before this one, I was using just like the normal plant fertilizer from Miracle Grow as well. So we'll see. Hopefully the new leaf is nice and big and lush, and hopefully has secondary fenestrations. So I think that is all. I'll definitely have to be moving her around just so that the leaves can be facing the correct spot. But yeah, anyways, that was a mission that took me more than 2 hours, I feel. It's almost 5 o'clock, and I think I started around 1 o'clock. Obviously I was stopping and waiting for my husband and stuff, but anyways, I'm just blabbering on now. Thank you so much for stopping by. I will leave the playlist of all like my Monstera related content down below or at the end of this video as well. So thank you so much, and I will see you soon.